So, OpenClaw just dropped their latest update, the 3.31 release. On first glance, this is primarily a stability, security, and infrastructure release, rather than something new, something like a feature showcase. Not really anything exciting there, which is arguably more important for everyday OpenClaw users. So in this video, we're going to be looking at what's new in the 3.31 release, what actually changed, what are the breaking changes that you need to review before updating, and then the pain points and what this release attempts to address those pain points. And of course, is it still enough? Is OpenClaw still worth using when we have Hermes, and Claude Code computer use? So we're gonna talk about that towards the end, but a lot of you guys are still using OpenClaw, and it's still worth mentioning, still worth covering. So we're keeping a tab on those. So let's dive into the 3.31 release. So let's look at the breaking changes first. I think you need to pay attention to this before making the update. So it seems the security has been tightening up significantly with these 4 key features. So the first one is related to plugin installs. They're now fail closed. If a plugin has a critical dangerous code finding, the install blocks by default. And this matters because past audits found that roughly 10% of ecosystem plugins on ClawHub were flagged as malicious. And in Michael's previous OpenClaw update video, he talked about how he's still not touching ClawHub because there's still a lot of security issues, a lot of risk on using ClawHub. And by fail closing the plugin install, it's addressing that, but it's not really the whole picture yet. It's still step by step. So I'd say it's a decent step up for the ClawHub ecosystem, but it's still not, 100% fixed yet. Secondly, the gateway auth is tightened. So the trusted proxy mode now rejects mixed shared token configs, and the local direct fallback requires your configured token instead of implicitly trusting same host callers. So basically, if you're running OpenClaw locally, any process on the same machine could previously talk to your gateway without authentication. That's fixed now. Thirdly, we got node commands. The device pairing alone no longer exposes node commands. So now you can explicitly approve them after pairing. And the last one we got is the ACP tool approval. It's now moved to the new semantic approval classes. So the old system used name-based overrides to decide what could auto-approve, which was pretty wonky. But the new system now uses semantic approval classes, which means read and search tools can auto-approve. So it's now much more predictable. So these are pretty much the security overhaul of the OpenClaw 3.31 update. Now let's talk about what actually changed, the core changes of these updates. The biggest architectural change in this release is the unified background task control plane. So before, the problem was background tasks from ACP, subagents, cron jobs, and CLI were running all at once. They all had their own little world, and there was no single place to see what was running. Tasks would finish and just orphan. You'd have ghost processes with no way to track or cancel them. And if you ran a heavy cron setup, it was pretty much chaotic. Now, with this release, this unified background task control plane, everything runs through a single SQLite backed task ledger. So every background job, ACP, subagents, cron, CLI, flows through the same system. And you get 3 new first-class CLI commands to manage it with OpenClaw flows list, OpenClaw flows show, OpenClaw flows cancel. So this one, you can see everything that's running or recently ran. This one drills into a specific task, and this one kills something that's stuck. And with this change, detached tasks can now bubble back up to their intended parent thread or session. So instead of orphan child tasks appearing out of nowhere in your sidebar, they actually land where they're supposed to. So for anyone running complex multi-agent setup, this is a big improvement. And a quick one, but a big one for anyone using Claude with adaptive thinking enabled, the slash by the way command was completely broken. You'd get no by the way response generated every single time. It was a known issue and people have been waiting on this fix. And the root cause was that slash by the way fires a side query, and adaptive thinking was in fact interfering with that process. So the fix disables provider reasoning, especially for slash by the way side queries. So your main session still uses thinking mode. The side query just routes cleanly around it. So if you were avoiding slash by the way entirely because of this bug, it's safe to use again. And there's also some quality of life updates here for MCP. So remote HTTP and SSE MCP servers now support auth headers. So if your MCP server requires authentication, you can actually configure that properly instead of working around it. Tool name collisions are now fixed as well with a namespace format here, server name / tool name. So if you were running two MCP servers that both had a tool called, let's say, search, that was a silent conflict before. Now they're properly scoped. And per server connection timeouts are now configurable, which is useful when one MCP server is slow and you don't want it blocking the rest. So there are these other core changes as well, but so far the only ones that I find meaningful are the unified background, slash by the way fix, and the better MCP support. So that's that for the new core changes in OpenClaw. Now, in terms of platform-wise, the highlight is QQBot. It's being added as a full first-class channel. And Matrix, they get streaming, which is also pretty helpful. And for WhatsApp, right here, the agents can now react with emoji instead of always sending a text reply. Personally, I just don't use WhatsApp, man. Don't use WhatsApp. You need an architecture, and WhatsApp is all in one. And if you're in Asia, Line here, they're now getting full outbound media support. So that includes image, video, audio. So that's pretty cool. So those are pretty much the changes with the 3.31 release. As you can see here, the pain points and the solutions that we talked about here. Malicious plugins, stalled streams, but anything interesting here? Nope, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so now comes the exciting part, okay? Is it still worth it to use OpenClaw compared to Hermes or compared to Claude Code computer use, right? So I have two answers for this, okay? My personal answer, Claude Code computer use, right there at the top. Then you got Hermes agent in the middle, then OpenClaw here. OpenClaw here. That's my personal answer. But if you want a YouTube answer, well, depends on your use case. Depends on your personal preference. So we're just going to be comparing briefly OpenClaw versus Hermes agent and see, is it up to your liking? So OpenClaw wins if you're running multi-channel deployments, if you have a team, and you rely on the ClawHub ecosystem. ClawHub, based on our experience, still a lot of security issues, even with the recent fix. Still too early, right? But there is a wide variety of ClawHub skills that you can use, and if you depend on that, then yeah, of course, stick to OpenClaw. If your current OpenClaw setup has a really nice, combination of ClawHub skills, then stick with that, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Hermes wins if you're a solo operator on a VPS who wants an agent that learns from your daily work, doesn't phone home with telemetry, and onboards in under 15 minutes. And so far, the onboarding process for Hermes is much smoother. And in benchmarks stripped to core agents, Hermes actually beat OpenClaw 7-3 for personal productivity, but with OpenClaw's full ecosystem, with NemoClaw, HighClaw, the whole stack, that gap closes to roughly 6 to 5.5, according to my notes here, which is pretty generous actually. It's like saying there's not really much of a difference between OpenClaw and Hermes. But I'm not trying to glaze too much for Hermes, because I still have some problems with my Hermes agent. So Loki here, who have migrated from OpenClaw, is still having some problems with its cron jobs. But maybe that's because when I migrated Loki from OpenClaw to OpenClaw to Hermes, its cron jobs are not synced, or at least not migrated properly. So maybe migrating itself can be a bit of a headache. But from what I heard, setting up from scratch your Hermes agent, no OpenClaw history, is actually much smoother. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll do a video about it when we get that set up. So that's pretty much it for the OpenClaw 3.31 release. Nothing sexy, but a lot of fundamental changes here. Big improvements, I'd say. Of course, even though we migrated our architecture a lot to Hermes and Claude Code Computer, it's still worth using OpenClaw, and that's just not a YouTube answer. We still have some people here in the office that are using OpenClaw. Namely, Martin is still using OpenClaw because his is that philosophy again. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? And things are going well for Martin himself. We did a full video on how he actually just with a simple architecture use his OpenClaw agent to generate leads, create AI influencers very effectively. So that's been it, boys. Smash up the like button if you find this video helpful. Subscribe to the channel for more updates. Hit the notification bell. My name is Ron. Shana now.